All right, a very good evening to you, and you're welcome to News Tonight with me on here from Pofo live from the Akia Bohema studio at North Ridge, and we're streaming also on channel 277 DSTV. Follow us on metrotvghana.com on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is metrotv_GH. We take a look at the headlines of the stories coming up. Land safely in Saudi Arabia city of Medina amidst calls by some Muslim groups for the head of the chief executive officer of the Ghana Hajj Board over accusations of embezzlement. Ministry of Roads constitutes a special team for emergency repairs on the roads destroyed by floods after the ministry opened the Junkwa Chifu Praso road to traffic. Also in the news, Health Directorate in some regions implement a no vaccination, no entry policy in senior high schools to pull the brakes on a recent upsurge in COVID-19 infections. Meanwhile, the Ghana Medical Association is raising concerns over Ghana's vaccine hesitancy. Also on the international front, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky calls African hostage of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war as fears of food crisis on the continent grow due to Moscow's blockade of Black Sea ports. Welcome back. Now to some more stories. Let's go into the details. The Electoral Commission has debunked claims that it is preparing to lay a constitutional instrument in Parliament that will allow the creation of a new voters register with the Ghana card. Now, according to the Commission's Deputy Director, Dr. Srebo Kweku, the Ghana card will only be used for continuous registration and not a new register.
Parliament on the floor of the House alleged that a fresh constitutional instrument by the Electoral Commission would demand that all voters register with their Ghana cards. He claimed that this would disenfranchise many Ghanaians, considering the fact that there are many who still do not have the card.
The Ministry of Communication has issued a deadline of 31st of this month. That 1st of July, they are going to deactivate SIM cards. The Bank of Ghana says that your money that is in your own account that you paid in from the 1st of July, you cannot access it without a Ghana card. And they are all taking reference to a legislative instrument from this House, LI 2111. Even the Electoral Commission is preparing to bring us a CR that is to create a new voters register using a Ghana card. But majority of our constituents today, some of them have registered since 2018. The National Identity Authority is unable to provide them their Ghana cards.
His argument was seconded by the minority leader, Haruna Idrisu.
The matter of the national ID card and even the contemplation of the Electoral Commission of Ghana to use it as basis for registration or for the conduct of the 2024 elections makes it a democratic imperative that every deserving Ghanaian has the national ID card. Any failure on their part will throw our democracy in jeopardy. And therefore, the matter he has raised in many areas, in fact, Mr. Speaker, normally I drive out of my house through the Tamale Regional Office, popularly known as the Regional Coordinating Councils. And on daily basis, as I leave town in the morning, I see queues of old men and women and young people just at the gate of the regional administration. When you ask, they say they are here to apply for national ID card. That public good must be made increasingly and easily available to the Ghanaian.
But the Electoral Commission says although it is working on a CI, it will not be used for the compilation of a fresh voter's ID, the Director of Elections at the Electoral Commission said. Yes, we are working on a CI that will be ready soon, but it will not be used for the compilation of a new register as alleged by the minority in Parliament. It will be used for continuous registration for persons who turn 18 when registration of fresh prospective voters is opened. That is when you will be required to have a Ghana card. Per data from the National Identification Authority, over 15 million Ghanaians have been registered for the Ghana card, representing about 84% of the population aged 15 and above.
Now let's view other stories. And aggrieved customers of the defunct gold dealership company Men's Gold are demanding government adopts a private member's motion currently in the parliament to allow for a parliamentary probe into the collapse of the company. The customers say they suspect some government officials are deliberately frustrating the processes that will allow the smooth payment of the locked-up funds. We're joined via the Public Relations Officer of the Coalition of the Aggrieved Customers of Men's Gold, Fred Forsing, in the studio. Fred, you're welcome to Newsnight. Good evening to you.
Thank you, Annie.
So how are you faring after the whole long-awaited period of your monies being paid back to you?
And I must tell you that life has been very difficult, and we have lost more than 179 people. There are many who have gone blind. And if you remember, you see, when this whole thing happened, a certain narrative was pushed down the throat of Ghanaians. And you hear people saying that we were warned. But I don't think that is fair, looking at government's own position and what has been done by this country in the past for customers of DK and the rest of them. We even chanced on a document that the finance minister in 2019 submitted to Parliament, demanding an amount of 15.6 billion to bail out the customers. And in that document, when you read, it spells out those who have done investment that the finance minister, in his own words, described as risky investment. And he said he was going to use 6.5 million to bail out those people. So based on that, we wrote to the Security and Exchange Commission in September 2020 to assist us or to ensure that we also benefit from those bailout funds. And we were denied, and we think it's unfair. And looking at what has happened from that time to date, life is very unbearable for us. And I think that it's high time that governments, we on our own volition, we wrote to the Speaker of Parliament, we petitioned Parliament. As at November 3rd, 2021, there is now a private member's motion, a work which should have been done by the government. But the same thing was done for this KM. So we are asking that government should rather be interested in that motion and ensure that that motion see the light of day for Parliament to look at it.
I saw the document you referred
Yes.
to. Where did you get that document from? Is it?
Even though it's written,
you may want to.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
even though
yeah.
it's written, you may want to. It says a memorandum to Parliament by Minister of Finance on the request for the approval of the sum of 15.6 billion Ghana cedis to project depositors of failed financial institution and improve liquidity of the financial sector.
Yeah. When you read one of the documents, I only brought out we only brought out the important ones. One of them, I think it's underlined, that they were going to use 6.5 billion to support the people who have done risky investments.
Okay, 6.3, that according to SEC, amount of 6.3 billion of funds that are locked up in the risky investment, short-term unlisted bonds, direct private equity stakes, and related party deals for small and medium-sized businesses, with the failure of some banks, SNL, as well as microfinance firms. These investments have been toxic. Following this, the licenses of 53 asset management firms were revoked in 2019.
When you read that document carefully and you put the letter that SEC used to collapse Men's Gold, okay, in 2018, they admitted that the operations of men's gold fell under their jurisdiction, and they were the people who were to regulate it. You understand? Two, when you talk to many of the MPs, they tell you that, but you people, the finance minister came here for money for you. So why are you here again? So to their understanding per this document, this amount that was approved, we were supposed to have been paid.
But Men's Gold came out some time back that it was paying, it had started paying the customers. I mean, you remember?
I mean,
what happened?
All those things. You see, what the government, and let's be frank, what the government skillfully did was to bring Men's Gold out and ask him to pretend to be paying. So this guy every now and then issues out payment plan. And none of these payment plans are really things that they are committed to do. Because one, they cannot pay. And the reason is very simple. You are frozen the person's assets. You have taken over his bank account. So even if this democracy works, anytime one puts out a payment plan, he should have been invited by security agencies. Why is
How
it
he's getting the
It's
money?
like you don't have a womb and you said you are giving birth. How do you give birth? Because your womb has been frozen.
So those who are, some have passed. I don't know what their families are doing. I listened to a report where someone has gotten blind on radio.
Yes.
Are you going to take the government on in that area?
I think where we are, we believe that yes, we go. Others have court judgment, but because the accounts and whatever have been frozen, even when you get a judgment, you're not able to execute the judgment. So what we are saying is that government, please, we believe that using the parliamentary approach, which was used in 2016 to find solution to the DKM issue, and we have argued that the difference between DKM and the Men's Gold issue is that they have different names, but it's the same thing.
Same.
So if that approach was used to enable DKM people to have their money, why don't we adopt the same thing and enable us to have our money rather than seeing us dying daily and it appears government is not saying, it's not taking the responsibility, or government is not even ready even to engage us.
Right.
January this year, maybe my last point, January this year, the Yoko went to court for a judgment, and they have obtained judgment to enable them sell the asset of Men's Gold. What is happening to the proceeds of those assets that were sold?
Right. Right. We'll just keep following up for you or on your behalf. Fred Forsing speaks, or he's a public relations officer for the Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of Men's Gold. And we're still hoping to raise government official to respond to this document that's been chanced upon. Let's do some stories. The Coalition of Young Muslim Intellectuals wants the chairman of the National Hajj Board, Sheikh Isikwe, sacked over what they describe as unjustified charges for this year's Hajj pilgrimage. Now, the group on Monday morning hit the streets in protest against the high charges. Let's hear the story.
The Pilgrimage Affairs Office of Ghana, in collaboration with Hajj Agent Association, pledged this year's pilgrimage fare at 39,000 Ghana cedis for new pilgrims. According to the board, pilgrims who maintained their 2020 Hajj deposits of 19,500 Ghana cedis will only top up of 7,000 Ghana cedis, making a total of 26,500 Ghana cedis. But some prospective pilgrims are unhappy about this.
Based on three principles: one, value for money; two, credibility; and three, criminality. Now, you recall what happened in 2019. A lot of pilgrims paid their monies, and ICQ signed agreement with them that they should leave those monies in the account in the event where there will be increment. Those people would not be affected. And so once those agreement was signed, it means that the people, who left their monies was covered to embark on 2022 should the Hajj resumes. Fast forward, we never saw that. Rather, they were asked to pay 7,000 top up before you could embark. Within 3 days, if you fail, that means you will fulfill that. We found that unacceptable. We found that insensitive, for which reason we are demonstrating.
They demonstrated on the streets to register their displeasure and called for the removal of the chairman of the Hajj board, Sheikh Isikwe.
Sheikh Isikwe leading the board to Hajj conference in Saudi Arabia. going with somebody who is not even part of the board to name him, giving him a designation that he's the director of finance, which means that he knows what he's doing on the blind side of the board. Even the appointing authority had to intervene by writing a letter pointing out to ICQA that what he did was wrong, which amount to criminality, for which reason we are demonstrating. Again, value for money. When you pay 39,000 Ghana cedis and we go there, we expect that you refund $1,000 or $1,200.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korti, who received the petition on behalf of the President Akufo-Addo, said their concerns would be addressed.
Indeed, the President is a listening President. He cares about all, and he takes all matters serious, no matter how small it may seem or appear in the eyes of all. And so today, I am instructed from the office of the President and on his behalf to receive your petition. And I have done so. I can assure you that the content and your petition will reach the office of the President in earnest.
Well, we have been joined via phone lines by Hajia Mariam Sisi, who is the Deputy Communications Director of the Hajj Board, to respond to some of the allegations raised against its leader, the Patriotic Muslim Front. Good evening, Hajia, and thank you for joining us. First, let me confirm if you have received or you have a copy of the petition.
No, we don't.
But have you heard about the demonstration?
Yes, I've heard packets of it.
You've heard pockets of it?
Yeah, packets of it, because today we are somehow busy because the first flight took off from Tamale to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Right. So this coalition of young Muslim intellectuals are accusing Sheikh ICQA of, some taking some unjustified charges for this year's Hajj pilgrimage. How do you respond to that?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. First of all, I would say that the coalition of Patriotic Muslim Front, headed by Haruna Muhammad Pizzo, is first of all pedantic, it is overzealous and unfounded. The first issue he raised was that they have concerns over the 39,000 Ghana cedis charged by the board. So the 39,000 Ghana cedis, as we keep saying, is just that I don't know why Mohammed Harun does not listen to more of the communications that are churned out by the Hajj board. But because he has already taken an entrenched position, the demonstration organized today, he calls the organization Patriotic Muslim Front. Is that the true representative or the true representation of Muslims in Ghana? Did you see that in that demonstration? All we saw is contracted or a group of Kayayes, assistants from the north, organized to back him up to come and do what he did. First of all, if you are saying that pilgrims paid monies to the Hajj board, as at 2020, they paid 19,500. Then the exchange rate was 4 cedis 30 pesos, 4.3. As we speak, the exchange rate is 8 point something. My sister, do the calculations yourself. We know what is happening. We know the economic situation all over, not just Ghana. Apart from that, what the Hajj board did, because these pilgrims, well, those who chose to leave their monies with the Hajj board, even though that opportunity was given, whoever doesn't want to leave his money can come for it. Some did, of course. And those who left their monies with the Hajj board, their condition given is that they pay an addition of 7,000, making their Hajj fare 26,500. Just because of the fact that they left their money since 2000 with the Hajj board. And of course, If you have your monies in the bank, of course, it is going to accrue some interest. Looking at how much this year's programs are paying, they are paying 39,000. Let's do the arithmetic here. A difference of 13,000 Ghana cedis, meaning 130 million. Are you saying that we haven't been fair to these programs? Because it is all because they left their monies with a Hajj board for this period. So that is why I started by saying that his argument is flawed.
Have you? Okay, first let me find out if they're paying 39,000 Ghana cedis. What difference is the exchange rate putting onto that? How much?
No, the exchange rate currently is 8 point something. I'm not too sure. I think it's 8.3 or 8.4. I'm not too sure. That is the exchange rate now. And you see, in arriving at the Hajj fair, it is not the sole responsibility of the Ghana Hajj Board. We have something we call components that adds up to make up the Hajj fair. It is not solely our decision. There are, calculations involved. It comes from the Saudi authorities themselves. The hotels you are going to rent for your programs in Makkah, Medina, and then Alpha and Mina. In Alpha and Mina, we are normally hosted in tents, and you pay for the tents. You pay for the square meter area. You pay for electricity. You pay for water and other facilities you use. You pay for the transportation system you are going to use to pick your programs from wherever they are to all the ritual sites.
But
so
these are regular.
Please? These are all factors that are taken into consideration before the fair is arrived at. As I speak to you, as 2020, the VAT in Saudi Arabia was 5%. As I speak to you, VAT has been increased to 15%. You know what it means to increase VAT. VAT is a consumable tax. Consumable tax means that it is going to affect almost everything. If it is the hotels, if it's the electricity, if it is water, whatever we are going to require to have our programs enjoy a stress-free Hajj, we would have to pay double. It is not just in Saudi Arabia. A lot of countries are facing it. So tell me, my sister, where did we go wrong? Where Haruna Mohammed very well, he very much knows about all these details because he was with the previous board. In 2016, he was with the board that led 453 programs. I had expected that Haruna Mohammed would have formed the same coalition and addressed and fought for the interests of the very Muslims that he says that he's protecting their interests.
Maybe I should ask you if you've had the chance to have this conversation. Yes, he's been on the board before, so he's probably a lot more informed or better informed. But with the changes that's happening, exchange rate and all that, maybe there are changes in activities as well that will charge a lot more or that will cause you to charge a lot more. Have you had this detailed conversation with them? Right, I was speaking with an executive member on the Hajj board. In the person, that is the Deputy Communication Director in the person of Hajia Mariam Sitsi. If we get him, if we get her again, I think we can complete the conversation. Are you still there, Mariam? Okay. So Mariam is not there, so let's just do some other stories as and when she joins us, maybe we can wrap up. But on some other stories, we have the first 5 months of 2022 has recorded. Okay, so we have the first 5 months of 2022 has recorded the 1,140 deaths from road crashes alone. This means, on the average, 8 people die daily on Ghana's roads, according to the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service. Now, the figure is 8.8% decline from what was recorded within the same period in 2021. Here is a catalogue of statistics on road crashes put together by Anita Zoe O'Day.
Road crashes continues to claim many lives. Provisional data compiled by the MTTD shows that the number of commuters killed in road traffic crashes recorded in the first 5 months of 2022 declined to 8.8% compared to the same period of 2021.
All the indicators have seen a seemingly significant reduction all over the months through the year. From January to May, we are recording reduction in both total crash, vehicular number involved, people killed, pedestrian knockdowns, and injuries, which is unprecedented for almost 5 to 6 years. And so we are very happy and we are hopeful that when it continues like this, we may be hearing good news in the future of no crash throughout the period.
The figure dropped from 1,250 fatalities between January and May last year to 1,140. The regional distribution of crashes and fatalities indicates that regions such as the Greater Accra, Ashanti region and Eastern region contributed to about 76.32% of crashes and 55.72% of fatalities from January to May. These three regions are considered the highest contributors of crashes and fatalities in Ghana. 905 males and 235 females perished in road crashes in the first 5 months. Motorcycles killed the highest number of commuters, totaling 467, representing 41%, followed by commercial vehicles, which killed 404 commuters, representing 35%. Private vehicles claimed the lives of 209, representing 22%. Out of 1,250 fatalities, 320, representing 28%, resulted from pedestrian knockdowns. Similarly, the remaining 13 regions collectively had 1,532 crashes, 2,024 injuries, and 505 deaths. The figures indicate Western North region had the highest reduction margin of 74.07%, while the Western region had the highest increase in percentage of 132% in crashes. The Savannah region had the highest margin reduction of 64.41%, while Northeast had 280% margin increase compared to the same period last year. Based on these statistics, there is more room for improvement and the need to keep road crashes declining.
Imagine waiting for relatives, friends and co-workers who are traveling for business and have promised to return the same day. Imagine waiting for parents and loved ones who have gone on a long trip, and after a while you hear that they have been involved in a well-publicized accident. Although Ghana has recorded a decline in road crashes this year from January to May 2022, our roads are still becoming increasingly dangerous for everyone. The sooner we find a solution to these deaths, the better for the country. For Metro News, I am Zoe Anita O'Day, Accra.
All right, you will come back. So that was a story put together by Zoe Anita O'Day. Let's take a breather. We'll be back with some more stories here on Newsnight. Welcome back to Newsnight. Let's do some more stories. The Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amoakwanta, says his outfit has constituted a rapid response team that will ensure that roads destroyed by the floods are fixed within 24 hours. He made this known while addressing the press at Junkwa in the Central Region today. Central Regional Correspondent Kwesi Akwesiado has more in the following report.
The minister, accompanied by top engineers at the ministry, paid a visit to the site in order to make a full assessment of the situation. The portion of the road has been temporarily fixed and open to traffic. Roads and Highways Minister Kwasi Amoakwata said government is ready to fix all roads that have similar incidences. He also announced that the ministry will try as much as possible to give the road a permanent fix in the shortest possible time.
We will not want to, of course, naturally prolong the execution of a project which is or is likely to cause, inconveniences to people. Anything that can bring about discomfort, inconveniences, the earlier, the better. So it's a good question, but why is not putting timing on it? I can assure you and the people here, I know you're asking this question on behalf of the people, I can assure them that the work will be done as quickly as practicable.
The minister added that his outfit has constituted a special team constituted for emergency repair of roads destroyed by floods within a day.
The government, through the Ministry of Roads and Highways, has put together a special, quick response team to deal with this type of situation. And I want to assure not only the people of Central Region, for that matter, the people of this area, but the nation, that as much as we don't expect and we don't pray for such disasters.
Meanwhile, over 1,000 people have so far been displaced as 13 communities in the region have been flooded. A prison officer who was aiding affected persons unfortunately lost his life in the floods. Central Regional Minister Marigold Hassan said some interventions have been made for the affected persons.
A prison officer who was also giving support to people who were also distressed and going through the river. Unfortunately, we lost him. Quite unfortunate, but now the situation is a bit calm. The waters are coming down because the volume of the water was so high and very heavy that had to collapse the whole community. And it was quite disturbing for me. I'm getting emotional, but I think that by close of today, tomorrow, if we don't receive more rains, then we are sure that the problems will be down.
Now, persons who have built on lands belonging to the CSIR and the Animal Research Institute in Fafraha will soon have structures demolished. The Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council has given them 48 hours to evacuate as a move to reclaim the land.
At the CSIR Animal Research.
All right, we'll give you the story later, but let's do some other stories. The Bono East Regional Health Directorate has instructed authorities of various senior high schools within the region to prevent persons without vaccination cards from accessing the schools. This, according to the directorate, will pull the brakes on the recent surge of the virus in the region. There's more in the following reports.
June 16, 2022, Ghana's active COVID-19 cases stood at 1,311. This is a sharp rise from a total of 711 cases in May 2022, per figures on the Ghana Health Service Update platform. Even though a total of over 16 million vaccine doses has been administered so far, the Ghana Medical Association has expressed worry over vaccine hesitancy following the death of a COVID-19 patient this year. The Bono East Regional Health Management Team has thus instructed heads of various senior high schools in the region to commence the no vaccination, no entry policy. According to the Bono East Regional Minister Kwesi Edrijan, the decision was arrived at due to the recent surge of COVID-19 cases in the region.
To vaccinate the students, to protect them, and to avoid large COVID-19 outbreak cases in our schools. Heads of senior high schools should ensure that all students have their COVID-19 vaccination cards to show proof of vaccination. No vaccination card, no entrance to the school campus.
The Bono East Regional Director of the Ghana Education Service, Efua Amwa, urged the general public to adhere to the COVID-19 rules and also get vaccinated against the deadly pandemic.
In order to do away with its impact on education and the nation as a whole, we must continue to be vaccinated and adhere to the enhanced hygiene and safety protocols in our schools and communities so that everyone would be protected.
All right, we'll ask that you stay safe wherever you are. You're still watching Newsnight here on Metro TV with me, Ania Fompofu. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll get some stories from the
Welcome back to Newsnight Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. And now to our first business story. The Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly is aiming to use technology to generate more revenue. It has partnered an international organization, Africa Smart Towns Network, to implement an electronic tax project. The focus of the project is to procure appropriate revenue collection tools to eliminate human intermediaries and enhance revenue collection. The e-tax project is being piloted within the Inshaeso sub-metro district in Ghana.
Revenue generation is a major challenge for most assemblies in Ghana. The Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has therefore initiated moves to improve its revenue mobilization effort. As a step, Africa Smart Towns Network, an international organization, is partnering the Assembly to implement an electronic tax project. The electronic tax or e-tax project is being piloted within the Inshaeso Sub-Metro District Council in the Kumasi Metropolis. The total funding of the project is $100,000 for 2.5 years and is being implemented in 3 phases, including training of all staff whose activities affect revenue generation. At a forum at Atasemanso in the Inshaeso Sub-Metropolitan area, the Metropolitan Chief Executive Officer, Samuel Pine, explained the importance of the e-tax project and warned staff of the Assembly against shortchanging the office, as those caught will not be spared.
Technology, stakeholder engagement.
We are having this stakeholder meeting because most businesses need the e-tax. That is why we are starting the piloting with Inshaeso. Basically, we are here to educate the public on how to use technology and the e-tax.
The
Director of Finance at the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, David Abam Ejeyi, emphasized the need for the Assembly to improve its revenue mobilization processes.
This assembly,
when it comes to tax collection, data becomes a problem, because without data, revenue collection also becomes a problem. But we now have help on how to use technology to collect data. Queen Mother of Atasomanso, Nana Ifyakunedu, commended the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly for its effort and urged the authorities to put the revenue to good use.
A member of the Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee, Dr. Abredu Otu, says the data from the first week of June are pointing to a marginal decrease in the pace of inflation. This comes after May witnessed a 27.6% inflation, the highest recorded in 18 years.
Have signaled an easing in the rate at which prices of goods and services are rising. Inflation accelerated to 27.6% in May, an 18-year high compared to 7.5% at the end of May 2021. This has been driven primarily by the pump price of petroleum products and its effect on the cost of transportation and food, among other items. The bank's latest forecast shows a continuing elevated inflation profile in the near term, with a prolonged horizon for inflation to return to the target band. Inflation expectations by consumers, businesses, and the banking sector have also heightened. According to the central bank, risks to the inflation outlook are on the upside and emanate from the availability of inputs for food production, imported inflation, continued upward adjustments in ex-pump petroleum prices and transportation costs, possible increases in utility tariffs, and potential wage pressures. The second-round effects of these price adjustments are expected to further amplify inflation pressures in the outlook. Efficacy of the central bank's primary monetary policy tool, which is its inflation targeting framework, has come under scrutiny in recent months as inflation continues on the ascendancy.
Now, the Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, has launched an unemployment insurance scheme for workers who lost their jobs in both the education and tourism sector as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. There's more in the following report.
The government announced in the 2020 Media Fiscal Policy Review the establishment of a national unemployment insurance scheme. The scheme is to serve as a mitigating measure for unexpected future events that may disrupt employment, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. Since its announcement, government has remained committed to making this goal a reality. About 43,000 people lost their jobs in both the education and tourism sectors. Speaking at the launch, the Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafuewa, described the scheme as a lifesaver for Ghanaian workers.
It's just a stopgap to cater for eventualities which may happen in the course of one's working life. Things that under normal circumstances we would not plan for, and which happens just because a stroke of maybe a bigger thing happening which we do not have control on. The focus of the training and retraining will be on the education sector, the private education sector, and then the tourism and hospitality sector. We did a survey during the COVID period, at the heat of it, and we realized that these were the two formal sectors of society that were hardest hit by COVID. And not just that, the number of persons involved too were quite huge, and therefore we felt that if there was any intervention to actually make an impact in society, this was the area that we should.
The Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, believes the program will enhance worker productivity. The project coordinator, Dr. Kwabena Nyaku Otu, added that the scheme will be compulsory for all social workers.
And at difficult times when the economy is facing challenges largely on account of global shocks and domestic developments, we prioritize this program as we believe the medium to long-term benefits are enormous for the worker output enhancement for the economy. After today's launch, advertisements will be placed in the Daily News first to call for applications for the program. We encourage all eligible beneficiaries across the country to apply. An implementation committee of membership from government organized labor employers has been constituted to see the effective implementation of the program.
That'll be all for business here on Newsnight. My name is Winston Taki. We'll be back with sports with Phil John Corte after this break. Stay tuned.
Good evening, it's time for your sports. My name is Phil John Qualty. The 2022 Greater Accra Table Tennis Knockout Championship ended at the Accra Sports Stadium with the security services dominating. Man, Michael Obin was there.
In Sports Hall within the Accra Sports Stadium,
was the venue for the Greater Accra Table Tennis Knockout competition, which was staged by the Regional Association with support from the mother body and some individuals within the sport fraternity. 20 teams within the nation's capital from the security services like Ghana Police, the Navy, Army, Immigration, whilst Hope Table Tennis and Carriage team came in strongly from the other teams. With the competition be a precursor to the upcoming league, the teams were also aware of the bragging right and the pride attached to the competition. After 7 hours of action, the same old story of the sports emerged at the venue as the security service took control and dominated. Derek Abrifa and Emmanuel Asante led the immigration service team to victory after overcoming Hope team from Nungwa. Despite a fine display from Team Courage from the young chaps, Celia Bandanso and Eva Adoma Bankwa won the heart of many as when it all ended, Immigration Service and the Ghana Army ladies easily won the Greater Accra Table Tennis Championship. Solomon Akono is the chairman of the Greater Accra Table Tennis Association.
Since we were elected into office almost 6 months ago, this is our first tournament, which is like a curtain raiser for our league that we want to play maybe in the next 2.5 weeks or 2 weeks. So that's why this is like a one-month match towards the league. I think this is our first one, and I think it's a successful tournament. Bringing 20 clubs to play a knockout in a team event, it's not easy. Look at the time now. We have been here the whole day. But I think we'll go back to the drawing board and then see how best we can do so that we will not spend almost the whole day here.
In fact, we have been able to achieve our purpose and I will say beyond.
That's your sports. My name is Phil. John Quarty Studio is standing by for the latest in showbiz.
Thank you, Phil. It's time for entertainment news. My name is Asiodua Akumia. Ghanaian rapper Sarkodie has been summoned to appear before an Accra High Court to give evidence on a promotion effort by Kantanka Automobile.
Due to appear before the courts to give an account on a case between Judosei and Kantanka Automobile on 13th June 2021. However, he failed to appear before the court. The lawsuit was filed by Judosei against Kantanka Automobile and its CEO, Kojo Safo Jr. in May 2019. This was after the company did not honor a promise it made to some Twitter users to promote its brand. According to the plaintiff's writ, he received a private message from Kantanka Automobile that asked him to share an image of a Kantanka Automobile car on Twitter. His writ further indicated that if his promotional tweet gained 30,000 retweets, he would be given a Kantanka Mensa Automobile. However, after his tweet reached the required number, the company did not honor the promise. Sarkodie's involvement in the case is because he is purported to have joined the promotion by sharing images of Kantanka Automobiles. The plaintiff therefore wants him to share his views on the promotion of the brand as, to him, it influenced a lot of Ghanaians to participate. In an interview, Judosei disclosed that Sarkodie has been subpoenaed to test before the Accra High Court or the court will issue a bench warrant for him. Sarkodie was previously subpoenaed by my lawyer on 13th June 2022 but failed to honor the court's invitation. Another invitation has been sent to him to appear before the court on the 21st of June 2022. With regard to what will happen if Sarkodie fails to show up for the second time, then Jude said it is up to the court to decide the next line of action, and most likely there will be a court warrant for his arrest.
Of our next story, the lady who was assaulted alongside her husband and his friends by Nigerian musician Burna Boy's associates has finally broken her silence.
Simply identified as Briella Nemi, took to her Instagram stories on Monday, June 20, 2022, where she gave a breakdown of what transpired at the nightclub on that fateful evening. According to Briella, they were visiting Nigeria from the United States of America and the United Kingdom for their friend's wedding. They visited Cubana nightclub to celebrate the couple in the company of about 20 friends when the ugly incident occurred. Briella narrated how she was accosted 3 times by Burna Boy's men requesting her to meet him. On the first attempt, I told them I wasn't interested in talking to Burna Boy and I'm married to my partner. He came again the second time and was met with the same response. He came the third time and that caused a few of our friends to flare up as they asked why he kept coming to disturb me. She recounted. She said this led to a fight between her friends and Burna Boy's team. However, it was briefly resolved by the security personnel at the club. Things took a different turn when Burna Boy's friends started a fight again and they started shooting. She alleged that Burna Boy gave the green light to his security to start shooting at them in the club while he laughed about it. Briella, while recounting what happened, said within a split second there was chaos in the club. Her partner and friend were shot in the head and leg, respectively. The young lady said it took the owner of the nightclub, Obi Cubana, 4 days to reach out to them after the shooting. Briella.
But that's it for entertainment news. My name is Theodora Akumia. Annie?
Yes, Theodora, thank you so much for the updates in the entertainment world. Let's take updates from the international news. On international front, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called Africa a hostage of Russia's war during the address to the African Union AU on Monday. Russia's invasion is its blockade of Ukraine's grain exports has sparked grain and fertilizer shortage and put millions of people at risk of hunger. AU's chairman Musa Mohammed called the urgent need for dialogue to restore global stability. Western countries have urged Russia to release Ukraine's vast grain stores. Now, the blockade has also sparked warnings that tens of millions of people are at risk of famine, and it has sent food prices soaring. EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell called Russia's blockade a real war crime. Well, that's what we have for you this evening on Newsnight. The stories came to you live from the Akia Bohema studio at North Ridge, and we're also streamed on channel 277 DSTV. Good evening to you, and thanks for watching.